everybody, Good BQ here with Elvine. Now this is also another Hayden visual novel game. This was the first she ever really made as a complete story, and it's like, I got to be able to see half of it one time, but I haven't been able to play the whole thing. And it's like, I'm gonna go back and I wanna see this. I love Hayden's visual novels so much. I'm gonna share them with the world. And it's good. Good story, good writing, good music. My heart's swelling. Anyway, let's a go. 100 years ago, in a distant land, there lived a great and powerful warrior king. This warrior king was beloved by all of his people, for it was by his hand that he was able to unite the country, and push back the invasion of the evil brutes from across the land. It was said that this great and powerful warrior king was only able to do this with the help of his very dear friend, the Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord was not like the humans, for he was the leader of the Dragonkin, which lived deep in the mountains. These Dragonkin have been wary and skeptical of their neighboring humans, but after witnessing the friendship between the Dragon Lord and the Warrior King, the Dragonkin came to see the humans as their brothers. Their friendship was so grand that it was said that God himself had forged the union. Every day the humans and Dragonkin rejoiced that their races were so beloved by God, and thus peace reigned. Many years passed, and the country quickly developed. The Dragon Lord had become so enamored with the humans that he shared with them the Dragonking's most powerful secret, the ability to use magic. For up until then, it was only Dragonkin who had possessed the power to use magic. Working together with the country's new mages, the Dragon Lord was able to help the Warrior King build up a new magical army. And after helping to forge this new army, something curious happened. The Dragon Lord, all of a sudden, disappeared from public view. Many rumors started that he was sick or perhaps even dying. Dragonkin were known to live much longer lifespans than their human brethren, but even the Warrior King himself did not know how old his friend was. And just when everyone had decided the Dragon Lord must have died of old age, the very person showed up back in court. But something was wrong. It was said that the first thing the Dragon Lord did upon his return to the court was to visit his good friend the Warrior King in his throne room. And there, surrounded by his most trusted vassals, the Warrior King was slaughtered by his very good friend the Dragon Lord. Rip. After the death of his father, the eldest prince took up the throne and declared that every dragon in the land be killed. For it was not just the Dragon Lord who had betrayed the humans, but many of the other Dragonkin in the land had also turned on their friends. And thus a nationwide hunt began, a hunt to kill every last Dragonkin. And God, angered by the betrayal of the Dragonkin, had blessed the humans in their campaign. The Dragon Lord had tainted the holy friendship between himself and the Warrior King. God had brought together the Dragonkin and the humans to live together in peace, but the Dragonkin had only broken that peace. For Dragonkin were sneaky, deceptive, unholy creatures that rebuked their offer of redemption by God. And for that they deserved to be punished. 100 years later... Father! The distant din of the battle and smoke in the air made it difficult for me to locate my father. He was in the town hall when the humans had set upon our village. Now it was different to tell which ruins were once my father's office. Father, please, answer me! It was sad to say, but human attacks were so frequent in my life that I was not scared as I should have been. I had seen many battles, but I had never seen the humans get so close to our village that they were now. Father and I usually had been able to escape before they had begun to burn our building down. Not this time, however. As I ran through the dirt streets, straining my eyes for any sight of my old father's body, I prayed that he be alive. Please, God, please! I know I may be an abominable Dragonkin, but save my father! When I was younger, I had always thought it was odd that my father and my fellow Dragonkin were always praying to God who had turned on us. But now I knew why. I knew why my father always prayed every night before bed, and why my mother, before she was killed, had prayed before every meal. Running through those streets, the only thing on my mind was survival. I wanted to live. And in times like these, as I looked over the broken landscape of my home, I felt like the only other presence beside myself was God. I could feel him watching me, watching as my town burned down, and I wanted to scream at him for help. It did not matter that he was the one burning everything. To me, it seemed that he was the only one who could stop it. Elvine! I was snapped out of my thoughts by the shout of my father. I could see my father, Patriarch, standing with another man at the edge of town. I didn't recognize the man, but from the sword at his side and his leather armor, I could deduce that he was one of the town's soldiers. Father! I'm so glad I found you! I was so worried that the same thing happened to you that happened to Mother!
Now is not the time to be reminiscing on thoughts of the past, daughter. The humans are quickly approaching.
Father never did seem distraught over the death of my mother. I used to be furious over the fact, but I soon learned that he was glad that she was no longer living in such a hell. He would often say,
"She is in a better place now. God forgave her and took her with him to enjoy the sweets of heaven. One day, if you are also good, he will come for you too. As well. Whatever."
I just wish there was a way to be forgiven and not die. But in the eyes of my father, it seemed that there was no such way.
"Sir, please, we must go now! I can see the humans!"
Out of the corner of my eye, I could see the faint outlines of the humans running.
"You're right. Let us be off!"
We ran into the forest, hoping the trees and bushes would cover our escape. After we had been walking for about a half an hour, the soldier dropped back to talk to me. I still didn't recognize him, though that was to be expected since my father tended to hate all Dragonkin soldiers. My father always complained, saying that they were defying the wills of the humans, and thus by extension the will of God. I tried to ask him on occasion why we kept running away from humans since that was defying the will of God, but he never really gave me an answer. I had quickly learned my father was full of contradictions such as these, but when he had been living as a religious Dragonkin, I could see where some of these thoughts came from. So as a result, I'd grown up becoming accustomed to my father's defeatist beliefs. I had obeyed his forbidding me of visiting the barracks, which was a common occurrence for a woman my age.
"I wish we could be able to meet in such different circumstances, Lady Elvine. My name is Lucas. It's an honor to help Sir Patriarch and your ladyship escape."
He was friendly enough. I always had imagined soldiers to be gruff men, always living on the edge. But there Lucas was, smiling at me and seemingly carefree when the three of us were running for our lives.
"I believe we'll write it, Hopspushlosh in about another hour, so please tell me if you're tired."
"Of course. Thank you." Humans attacked on Dragonkin villagers were so common that my father and other council members had decided beforehand where to meet up after the village was attacked. They had done the same thing in our last village, the village where my mother was killed in one such attack, and the plan had worked perfectly. This time, my father had chosen the abandoned castle of Hopslish-Loss as their rendezvous point. And as I thought of my destination, I found that, yes, my feet were really starting to hurt. I was embarrassed, but I decided it was better to let Lucas know than to push myself until exhaustion.
"Of course. Let us stop here for a spell."
I sat myself down near a rock near the edge of the clearing as my father glared at me. "What?" I glared back at him.
"Oh, it's nothing. I was just thinking how endurance was one of the 10 holy virtues."
"Dad, shut the fuck up. If I remember right, truthfulness is also one." This is just my father's way of telling me that we did not have time to dawdle. The humans were still chasing us. But that didn't make my feet feel any better.
"I'll go look for some berries for a snack."
Clearly, Lucas was feeling out of place between my little spat with my father. I don't blame him. Lucas started walking out of the clearing. But then, a human dropped down from a tree and attacked him with a dagger. I screamed, "Ah!" Lucas was able to parry the dagger aimed at his stomach, but unfortunately he and the human ended up in a tussle on the ground. I wasn't sure what was happening, but after a while, the human slid down. Dead. "Lucas! Are you all right?" He hadn't stood back up. I knew something was wrong.
"I'm afraid He got me.
I didn't know what he meant until I saw his leg. The human dagger was punched deep into his thigh, with blood trickling down the dragon handle. I ran over to try to help him, but I knew I would be no help. I didn't have any sort of first aid on me.
No, don't take it out. It's too deep. I would bleed to death before we got to Hopsislaus, whatever. Daughter! Do you see what your tearing has caused? We must hurry on to Hopsislaus before another human finds us.
Father! Of course, I never meant for any of this to happen. But if we had not stopped...
With all due respect, sir, I don't think that human was part of the army that attacked our village. Look at his clothes. He's a thief, not a soldier. I don't think the human army will chase us, sir. They have their victory to celebrate. They do not have time to trace down stragglers.
Lucas, he was standing up for me.
It does not matter who chases us now. If we do not hurry onward, you will surely die.
And with that, my father helped Lucas back to his feet, and supporting his shoulder, he and Lucas began to limp through the forest. I followed. Day 1. We arrived at Hopsislaus around 4 a.m. It seemed like we were the first ones there.
I'm sure the others will arrive here shortly.
I helped my father carry Lucas into the castle, as by the time he had completely lost all of his strength. I began to worry terribly about him. We carried him into the first room we could find with a bed in it. Oh, there's a save button. Boop! Oh, wait. Auto. Load. Save. Ah! Save. Right there. Yay. Return. I was a little jealous because the first room he had found had been a rich person's room, as it had a balcony and everything.
I wonder if I can see the stars from here.
We had placed him onto the bed, and Lucas was already eyeing the balcony outside. I opened the window for him.
Thank you. I'm sure a nice breeze will help me.
I wasn't sure about that. He was looking awfully pale.
Elvine, I need to have a chat with Lucas there. Why don't you go and find some rooms for ourselves? Maybe one's close to Lucas's room here?
It must be serious if Father is kicking me out. But judging by Lucas's deteriorating health, I didn't think I wanted to be here for the talk. I quickly left the room and walked down the hallway to find other rooms. I found 2 nice little rooms a bit down to the hall that Father and I could use. Unfortunately, neither of them had balconies. I wasted time enough and decided to go back. What's up, Dad? As I entered Lucas's room, I heard him shout.
Please! Just 2 more hours! Until the medics arrive, I'm sure they'll be able to put me back in top form. I'm not so sure you will last 2 hours, Lucas. Please. Please, just 1. Please, God, just let them come. What in the world do you think God will do for a sinner like you? After living a blasphemous life killing humans, you plead with him to save your leg.
Father! I knew Father could be rude, but this was enough. Lucas was a man he did not even know. What right did he have to judge his life?
Elvine, what are you doing here? I thought I told you to go find us rooms.
I did. And now I'm back. I know you think I'm a silly girl, but I think now is a good time to explain to me just what is going on. After I left the room, see my father had pulled out some bandages. A saw had also suspiciously appeared on the bedside table.
Lucas is in bad shape, Elvie. The dagger is so embedded so deep into his thigh that if it were to remove it, he would bleed to death within minutes. But if we leave it in there, he'll simply bleed to death slowly. Only if we were to amputate could we save him. No!
This sudden outburst startled me.
The medics! The medics have healing magic! Once they arrive, they can save my leg. And as I was saying earlier, do you honestly believe anyone else survived that attack?
This shocked me. Of course there would be other survivors. But the more I thought about it, I had truly not seen any living soul in my village. All I had seen were dead bodies lining the streets.
So you would rather bleed to death, waiting for someone who you already know is dead, rather than being bedridden the rest of your life.
I spoke up then. I know a little healing magic. They shocked my father, of course. He hated magic as well, since it was the thing that allowed the Dragonkin to kill the warrior king in the first place. But I had found some magic books in one of our old town's libraries. I had cast simple spells in secret, but kept it a secret from my father.
You do? Elvine!
I ignore my father's glare. I do, though very little, and I've never really used it on anyone.
And do you know any spells that could help my leg?
Just one. It could help, but you would have to stay in bed and let it recover. And I don't think you'd be able to run afterwards either. It will turn part of your leg to stone.
Well, I suppose being able to walk is better than losing my leg altogether.
He looked apprehensive, but I believe that he finally accepted his fate. Okay, I'm gonna start it. Lucas visibly braced himself. All right. 1, 2. Lucas passed out. I quietly bandaged his leg up anyway, since I felt that was the right thing to do.
I didn't know you knew magic, Elvine.
I don't. This is the only spell I know. That was a lie.
Elvine, you know what I think about magic.
I know, Father. I know, and I studied it anyway. Please just leave me alone. I'd had enough of them for one day, and I stormed out of the room. Fuck him.
I should probably save auto. Save, there it is. Right there. Yeah. Return.
In a huff, I wandered through the castle and soon found myself completely lost. I should probably have been paying attention where I was going. Well, I had been planning to explore the castle anyway. The hallway in front of me forked. There was a set of intimidating doors to the left, and a cozy-looking set to the doors to my right. Where should I go?
To the left!
I opened the door leading left, and found myself in what I only could be described as the throne room. Dust covered everything. But even though all the dirt and decay in the room, I could still see the remarkable detail in all the room's decorations. And then I spotted the chair sitting at the end of the room. It could only be a throne. I smiled and walked over to it. Yes, yes, I am here. Queen Elvine is present. I am now willing to listen to you peasants' requests. I pretended I am wearing a regal gown and curtsied to the imaginary audience. And as I sat down, I heard a voice behind me.
Calling your vassals peasants? Why do I believe we have ourselves a bit of a tyrant in the making here?
I stood up straight and turned around. That was British. I turned up straight and turned around. There, sitting on the throne, was a boy a little older than myself. He was wearing such expensive clothes that he could have only been the owner of the throne I was about to sit on. How did I not see him before? I was about to sit on him and everything. I was more embarrassed than startled.
And yes, Lady Tyrant, what is it that you have come for me today?
I'm so sorry. I was just exploring the castle and found this room and... Wait. I thought this castle was abandoned. He just looked at me for a moment.
I suppose it is.
I mean, no offense, sir, but I suppose you must be a traveler, much like myself, who found this old castle as a place to make a home. I know my group had passed by a thief on our way here. Perhaps he was your friend? I really hoped he didn't ask him what happened to his friend, but instead he shot me a look so angry I thought I was going to die right there.
Hold your tongue! How dare you think that I might be a thief? A beggar? What will you call me next? Do you even know whom you stand, girl? Before whom you stand? No, of course not. Otherwise you would not have treated me with such disrespect. Sitting on my throne? Who do you think you are? Who dares to sit on the throne of Prince Bryant? Bryant?
I'm terribly sorry for the disrespect, Prince Bryant.
Get my name right! I don't think you can even get your name right, sir! Bryant. It's like Brian, but not with a T.
I had no idea. Please forgive me.
Fuck you!
I immediately dropped to the floor and bowed. But when I glanced up at him, I noticed something odd. Where his feet should have been, there was just nothing.
I suppose I will forgive you this one time. It did take a bit of getting used to, this situation I find myself in.
Your Highness! Why do you not have any feet?
Well, I do suppose that is on the account of me being a ghost. Just maybe. I lost it. I'm dead. I felt a bit slack. I screamed. Ah! Would you stop that dreadful noise? I have forgotten how noisy living humans can be. Oh! He seemed to have noticed that I was not, in fact, a human. What? You demon! Get away from me immediately!
What?
You and your kind should be extinct by now. Ugh, having to know that I have wait around until I just randomly disappear is bad enough, but that your filth is out there tainting everything you touch is just terrible.
Oh. I never met a human boy before, and I always wondered what they were like. But now I didn't think I wanted to meet another one. I began to walk away.
Wait! Where are you going?
Well, it's clear that you didn't want my filth around here anymore, so I was just going to head back.
You can't just go. You've been brought here for a reason, right? I mean, you're the first person I've ever met who could see me. And frankly, I'm getting a little bored here of this here purgatory. Since you can see me, that must mean something.
You say that, but do you truly want my help? What, do you really want help from filth like me?
Well, maybe. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Cross his fingers. I'm not good at this being nice thing.
At least try to work on it, please. I could see from the window that the sun was starting to set. I needed to get back. I suppose I'll see you again if you decide to work on being nice for a change.
Ugh, alright. I'll try being nicer next time. How awe-inspiring.
I left the throne room and went back to my room. Day 2. It was a good thing that Lucas had decided not to wait for the medics to arrive. And I should also save. Beep.
Boop. Yay. Fuck. I could... damn it. Oh well. So I was like, that was a major thing, so I was like, I could have put in another save point, but... whatever.
No one else ever showed up, and Lucas continued to sleep the entire day. My father took me aside to tell me something important.
I never wanted to tell you, dear Elvine, but we had known previously that our village was the last standing Dragonkin village. We had long lost contact with the other villages, and we can only assume they all died. And since it seems our last village has been destroyed, my dear Elvine, we are the last ones. We are the last Dragonkin.
I didn't want to believe it. It couldn't be true. But the more I thought about it in my mind, the more it seemed possible. That we really were the last ones. I began to wander the halls of the Hauptschloss to get my mind off of my father's words. Before I knew it, I found myself at the same doors that I had found yesterday. Since I visited the throne room today, I guess I'll see what's behind the right door today.
Okay, so I can still save it another slot later. That's good. Sniff.
I opened the door to my right and found myself in what appeared to be a large library. Oh, a library! I wonder if I can read any books of these books in here. I'd been taught a number of languages in school, of which was the language the humans used for writing. I wonder what this book is about. I picked up a random book off the shelf. It was a fairy tale book, I think, and was filled with beautiful pictures of knights and princesses. I happened to flip to a page with a picture of a knight killing a dragon. I always found it odd that humans depicted the dragonkin as giant fire-breathing ferocious monsters. We didn't look anything like the sort. But some days I wish I could breathe fire. Fairy tales always seem to have the same endings, don't they? I quickly looked up. Was there someone else in the room with me? Why does the prince always slay the dragon? Why can't the princess escape on her own? And why are the dragons always the bad guy? No matter where I looked, I couldn't see anyone. I began to freak out. What? Who's there? I realized the voice was coming from above me. Certainly it's not that way in real life. I looked up. There, above me, about 10 feet off the ground, was a girl. She was just floating in midair. Well, that's what I thought when I was leaving anyway. I screamed. Oh, please don't go! I didn't mean to scare you! I dropped my book and started running towards the door. Right before I threw the door open, the little girl appeared in front of me again. I can't hurt you! I'm a nice ghost, I swear! Ah! I couldn't even comprehend what she was saying to me. All I wanted to do was to run away. I grabbed the door handle and pushed. It wouldn't budge. The door's busted. Don't worry though, there's another way out. I screamed again. How was I supposed to get out? I would die in here and have to join this weird ghost girl in purgatory. Are you even listening to me? I said there's another way out. It's right there. Right to your left. Your left. Your left. My right. Your left. There you go. Oh, dense girl. I'm listening. I tried my hardest to not appear scared. It obviously failed. Oh, you talked to me. My name's Mary. It's nice to meet you. Let's be friends. I haven't met anyone in such a long time, you know. What's your name? Wait a moment. I just want to know a way out of here. I didn't sign up to be your friend or whatever. Well, aren't you rude? I just thought that maybe, since we're both stuck here, you might want to know how to get out, just to get to know each other first. Fine. I see how it is. Find your own way out. Goodbye. No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. Mary, that's such a nice name. My name is Elvine. What do you like to do for fun? I like to read. Oh, God, please. What kind of books do you like to read? Since I've been stuck in the castle for the last 80 years, I've developed a hobby of reading. 80 years? Oh, well, I like to read, fairy tales. You just said that because that was the first book you picked up, wasn't it? Shut up now. But I guess you aren't a big fan of them, are you? You like fairy tales? But the knights are always killing the dragons, and the dragons are always the bad guys. I figured you might. She glanced at my horns. I came up British. She glanced at my horns. Well, I prefer I prefer the fairy tales without dragons, actually. But I guess I just like that I know that things in the end will always work out for our princess and prince, and they'll live happily ever after. Growing up in my village, I kind of wanted to read anything with the concept of happily ever after. The wars are still going on, aren't they? Excuse me? I just barely heard her. Well, Elvine, it's nice to meet you. I've never really met a dragonkin before. You have to tell me lots of things. I'm always here in the library if you ever want to talk to me. Oh, okay. I hadn't expected her to be so nice. At least I think she was nice. I still kind of was expecting her to turn around and curse me, but no. She just seemed like a normal girl. She showed me the exit, which was another separate door, to my left. And I left the library. I decided to head back to my room.
And we're gonna stop it here. So we met the two ghosts. And we get to figure out... I'm gonna... Boop. Yeah. So next time we're going to explore this next thing and figure out, oh, we're the last 3 dragonkin on Earth or whatever the hell we are. So that's unfortunate. And ghosts! Ghosts are a thing. So we'll figure out that next time. So have a good day, everybody. Bye!